Alright, hello everyone, hope you're all well, hope you're all staying safe. In today's video, I want to look into a game which I recently bought on the Steam summer sale called Deep Rock Galactic. Now, this game is an indie game of sorts, and it has 4-player co-op with procedurally generated levels. I bought this game for £18, which I don't even think is that bad, and the reviews for it on Steam are overwhelmingly positive. It's something like 97% positive reviews. So I bought this game a couple days ago, and I've been playing it with Dibble and a few other random people to get the numbers up to 4. I haven't spent too much time on the game. I've only got about 3 hours so far. So I'm definitely not claiming to be an expert or like I even really know what I'm talking about, but I did want to showcase how this game nails procedural generation. So the concept of Deep Rock Galactic is that you're put into procedurally generated caves with different goals depending on the map which you have chosen. Some of these goals involve finding damaged machinery and repairing it, whilst others are just simply harvesting resources. The game has a mining mechanic which ties into purchasing ammo and health. You have to get certain items in order to basically stay alive, as well as some optional minerals which you can mine, which give you in-game currency used for upgrades of your characters. There are 4 classes to choose from that have their own unique benefits, like for example the driller, who obviously drills, and the scout, who can use a grapple hook or light up dark areas with a big ass flare. The classes are all necessary to winning, and they complement each other really nicely. The game uses voxel based environments for its levels, which on its own looks really nice. I'm a big fan of voxel games. I think they're very unique to look at, but these voxel graphics allow for complete destruction of environments. You have a pickaxe which is used to gather resources, but you can also use this to break through walls to reach other areas. With explosives as well, you'll often find you're blowing big holes in the ground, or even with simple bullets, you're chipping away little parts of rock along the mission. Whilst you're doing these missions, you're fending off cave creatures, which no, aren't procedurally generated. I really wish they were, but they're not. And some of them do resemble biological horrors from No Man's Sky. They have that kind of spider look about them with big scary teeth and shit tons of eyes. They're creepy, I don't like them. The best way to explain this game is like a mix of Left 4 Dead 2 and Minecraft. Yeah, it really doesn't sound like it would work, but it really does. It is very much a co-op game. It has 4-player co-op, as I said, so make sure you bring your friends along for the best experience. The game is also available to play solo. Dibble said that he tried it solo and it's not quite as fun as when you're with people. I believe when you play on your own, you get like a little AI companion, so you're not truly alone. But yeah, the game is clearly built and meant to be played with friends. So if you do have 4 friends which you can communicate with over Discord or what have you, then this shit is going to be really fun. So the game uses zones as the main method for picking levels. Each zone has its own style of caves, some tropical, others desolate, and these zones have a handful of mission objectives which can be played at different difficulties. The difficulties can be selected before starting the mission. The higher the difficulty, the more XP and rewards you get from doing so. Me and Dibble tried to do it on 75% difficulty, which I think is above challenging, or it might be challenging, I can't remember. The second hardest one, and that shit is difficult. Even with 4 players, it is really hard. So the best part about Deep Rock Galactic is the fact that the caves which you play in, these caves which you're exploring, trying to find items, mining in, are all procedurally generated. So say if you were to start a mission in one cave, fail it and then restart, the layout of the cave will be completely different. The procedural generation is so good and it's so cool. It is easily the best part of the game. The best part about it though is that the levels don't even seem randomly generated. They are so coherent and so complex, with some crazy ass terrain making things really dangerous and unpredictable. Caves also have complexity levels. You can see these when you're selecting missions, which I assume get more wild as you progress. With my 3 or 4 hours on the game, I've only gone to 2 bars of complexity, so I'm really interested to see what it's going to look like once you get to the higher levels. And the thing is, right, procedural generation keeps this game feeling so fresh, and it also gives you this feeling that you're never on top of the game. The game always has a 1-up on you. You're the one being thrown into this hostile environment, and you don't have a fucking clue what to expect. Hopefully you can see from the gameplay that the procedural generation generation is clever. It is not a No Man's Sky situation where it's predictable with the same kind of flat rolling hills everywhere. Yeah, you get parts of the caves that are pretty much just like straight lines and do resemble something like Minecraft, but then more often than not they open up into these big ass areas with loads of steep drops which you can very easily die from. Some areas of the game do genuinely look handcrafted, alongside the beautiful lighting and the fairly decent AI as well. Everything feels like it should have been handcrafted, but a lot of it really is just random. And this is one thing which I do really want to talk about when it comes to this game: the ambience. Deep Rock Galactic nails its ambience so well. It has a Left 4 Dead style horde system which randomly throws enemies to you at unpredictable times. You obviously get like big waves of enemies when you've completed an objective, some of which you have to stay in a certain area, fight them off while something's happening in the background. You know, you've heard that trope a million times before. But when you're just walking around trying to find your objective, more often than not, you're not really doing a lot. You're getting lost, and it's very dark as well, so you have to use flares. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's creepy, but you're most definitely always on your toes. Out of nowhere, you can see spiders in the distance crawling towards you, or some big ass fly in the air just going about its day. It is, yeah, it's very impressive. So one thing about this game, which again I give credit to, is the pacing. I don't usually complain or rave about pacing of games. It's not really something that bothers me all too much, but I feel like I have to talk about it when it comes down to Deep Rock Galactic. The game does have plenty of walking, exploring, and gathering resources. A lot of the gameplay really is quite timid. If you think about it, you go down in this big ass pod, you come out into a cave which you've never been before, and a large portion of it is looking at your map, trying to work out where to go and finding stuff along the way. It sounds really boring. Like, I know for a fact that when you listen to me saying, okay, a lot of it's walking and a lot of it's gathering resources, you're immediately gonna think this is a boring piece of shit. It's like Daisy, it's a walking simulator. It's not. The thing is, right, the game would be kind of boring if the levels were not procedurally generated, but the procedural generation, as I've raved about for the entire fucking video, is so good that the rest of the game just feels amazing. And the rest of the kind of timid gameplay, where not a lot is happening, feels great because of the procedural generation. A large portion of it feels like you're exploring, you're discovering things, you're seeing some things which you haven't seen before, and it's really, really cool to experience. I also have to give massive props to the combat. The combat is really nice, it's very satisfying. The AI is good. I mean, it does just kind of rush at you, but when they're not attacking, you can often see them coming in big waves from a distance, which is actually quite terrifying. And they do a decent amount of damage, especially on higher difficulties. But something about the combat, I don't know what it is, whether it's the visual effects, the ragdoll, the audio, but something just feels so goddamn nice. Again, I've only played 3 or 4 hours of this game, but from the reviews which I've been reading, people say that the combat holds up really nicely. And like the rest of the game, it isn't really in danger of becoming boring, mostly because of the procedural generation. So we have this game with some crazy ass ambience, a mixture between gathering resources and killing enemies. It's a very strange combination with some definitely unique pacing, but again, it all comes together so goddamn nicely. I'm going to upload another video with my first impressions where me and Dibble played it for the first time, where we've got the live commentary, and you can see that we're both so excited. There is just this incredible amount of tension, but also excitement at going into this completely alien landscape and trying to find your way. Me and Dibble spent a lot of time lost, we spent a lot of time backtracking, but it never feels like a chore. You're not under any kind of time restraints. I don't think you're penalized for taking your time. So really, it's like a bit of a No Man's Sky situation. You kind of take your time a little bit, you're very careful, but ultimately you're enjoying what you're seeing. It is such a satisfying game, genuinely. And there is a load which I haven't even touched. There's a load of customization with your pickaxe, with your character. There's also perks which you can upgrade the more you level up. All of the classes level up individually, and I believe there's also a prestige system. The hub is also crazy. There's a bar where you can order drinks for everyone. You can dance around, kick explosive barrels into a fucking basketball hoop. The game is just wild. It's crazy, and I know I sound like I'm rambling, but I'm trying to just get everything out at once. There's a surprising amount of humour as well, especially in the hub and especially with some dialogue options. The gameplay itself when you're in the caves is quite serious, but when you're outside of that, yeah, it's light-hearted. The art style is almost like Borderlands. It's nice. It's just a good fucking game. I would 100% recommend it, especially now it's on sale. Alright guys, I think that just about sums up today's video. I do hope you enjoyed. As always, if you did enjoy, please do feel free to leave a like on it. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. Love you all. Take care.